After that evening in their bedroom, something changed in me. I could no longer move freely in that house. Every room felt tight. Every word Mr. Daniels spoke felt heavy. I tried to carry on like before, sweeping, dusting, washing sheets, but nothing felt clean anymore, especially not me. I know what you're thinking right now, but before you judge me, kindly watch this video carefully. Hi and welcome back to Hearts Awaken, your surest channel for deep emotional, betrayal and heartbreaking stories. If you're new here, kindly subscribe to this channel and hit on notifications, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. They called it the house on Palm Circle, tall, white bricked, with golden trimmed windows and a lawn that looked like it was cut with scissors. It stood proud among the expensive homes of Clearwater, Florida, like something out of a movie. I still remember the first time I stepped through the front door. I was 28, eager to prove myself, and ready for anything except what was coming. Alice Daniel hired me. She was graceful, soft-spoken, and kind in a way that didn't feel fake. She had this pose about her, always dressed in pastel colors, hair perfectly done, and eyes that didn't miss much. Her husband, Mr. Daniel, his full name was Richard Daniel, but everyone called him Rick, was different, confident, charming, the kind of man who could smile and get his way without raising his voice. At first, everything was normal. I came in early, sometimes before sunrise, and left late in the afternoon. Cleaning, dusting, ranging, running, every task had its place, and I was good at it. I wasn't just cleaning a house, I was taking care of someone's life, their space, their sanctuary. But even sanctuaries can hide cracks. Mr. Daniel worked from home some days, especially when his business meetings were local. That's when things began to shift. It started with small talk. He'd be vacuuming the hallway and he'd say, "Annabelle, don't work too hard. Take a break once in a while," or "You're always so quiet. Doesn't it get lonely?" I thought he was just being polite, friendly, but his friendliness grew warmer with each passing day. He'd stay longer in the kitchen when I prepared lunch. He'd ask questions about my life, where I grew up, if I had family nearby, whether I was seeing anyone. I was flattered, and flattery, when mixed with loneliness, is a dangerous thing. See, I didn't have much of a life outside that house. I had no boyfriend, no children, and only a few friends who worked just as hard as I did. I went home to a small apartment, heated up leftovers, and fell asleep with the TV playing in the background. Mr. Daniel's attention felt different, like someone was finally seeing me, hearing me. One Friday afternoon, Alice left early. She was rushing to catch a train to Miami for a real estate conference. Before leaving, she smiled and said, "Annabelle, keep an eye on the place while I'm gone. Rick will be working from home. You two will manage just fine." I watched her drive away, unaware that her words would haunt me later. That weekend, I noticed Mr. Daniel wasn't himself. He looked tired, restless. He stayed in his robe until noon and kept walking from room to room like he was searching for something. When I brought him coffee, he gave me a look, soft but heavy. "Ever feel like you're just invisible?" he asked. That question hit me like a storm, because yes, I had felt invisible. For years, I had cleaned other people's homes, cooked their meals, folded their clothes, yet no one ever saw me. "Not really." I nodded, unsure what to say. He smiled faintly, took the cup, and said, "You're not invisible to me, Annabelle." That night, I couldn't sleep. Something inside me stirred, a mix of guilt and curiosity. I told myself it was just a compliment, just a moment, but deep down I knew a line had been crossed. Maybe not in action, not yet, but in the heart, it was already too late. When people talk about betrayal, they picture loud arguments, broken vows, and messy endings. But the real danger is in the silence, the slow, quiet drift. That's how it happened between Mr. Daniel and Meant It with fire, but with a whisper. The morning after Alice left for Miami, I arrived at the house early. The air felt different, heavy. Mr. Daniel was already awake, sitting in the living room with coffee in hand. He looked up when I entered and said, "Good morning, Annabelle," like he'd been waiting for me. We went through the motions of tidying the kitchen, him typing on his laptop, but there was a tension in the air. Not loud, just present. I could feel his eyes following me as I moved around the room. I told myself it was in my head, that nothing was happening, that everything was still professional. But by afternoon, that lie began to crumble. We sat at the breakfast bar, sipping iced tea and talking about music. He mentioned how Alice didn't care much for jazz, but he loved it. I told him I liked Nina Simone. His eyes lit up. "You surprise me," he said with a smile. "There's more to you than meets the eye." And then he said, "Come sit with me, just for a minute." I followed him to the bedroom, the matrimonial bedroom. Elisa's side of the bed was perfectly made, her lavender pillow untouched. I shouldn't have stepped in. I should have left, but I didn't. We talked, that's all. But it wasn't the words that crossed the line, it was the emotions behind them, the confessions, the quiet closeness. He told me he felt alone in his own home, that sometimes he wondered what it would be like to start over. I listened. I let him open his heart, and in doing so, I opened mine too. No one touched anyone. There were no kisses, no embraces, but still, we both knew. What we shared in that room, on that bed, in Elisa's absence, was a betrayal. A soft, silent one, but a betrayal nonetheless. I didn't sleep that night. My thoughts ran wild. I kept asking myself, what have I done? Not in action, but in emotion. I had stepped into a space that wasn't mine, into a bond that didn't belong to me. The next morning, I found a small gift on the kitchen counter, a silver bracelet, no note, but I knew who it was from. I didn't wear it. I couldn't, because even though no one had seen us, I saw myself and I didn't like what I saw. And yet, I didn't walk away. I stayed, and that was the real mistake. It didn't happen overnight. The guilt crept in slow like a leak under the sink. At first, you only notice the dampness, then the smell. Then, one day, you look down and realize everything's rotting. After that evening in their bedroom, something changed in me. I could no longer move freely in that house. Every room felt tight. Every word Mr. Daniels spoke felt heavy. I tried to carry on like before, sweeping, dusting, washing sheets, but nothing felt clean anymore, especially not me. Alice returned from Miami with her usual smile. She brought back small gifts for everyone, scented candles for her neighbors, brochures for clients, and for me a keychain with my name carved into a tiny seashell. It reminded me of you, she said warmly. My throat tightened. I forced a smile, thanked her, and tucked the keychain into my bag without another word. That tiny gift, kind you give someone you trust, broke something in me. She trusted me, and I had broken that trust without her ever knowing. Or so I thought. Days passed, but the air in the house grew heavier. I noticed things: Alice staring a second too long at the bed, sniffing the pillow. Mr. Daniel becoming more distant, more nervous. The bracelet he had gifted me, I left it in my drawer at home. I couldn't wear it. Every time I saw it, I felt like a thief. Then one afternoon, I overheard something I was never meant to hear. I was folding laundry in the hallway when Elisa's voice rose from behind the closed bedroom door. Do you think I'm stupid, Rick? Do you think I don't feel it? I don't know what you're talking about, he answered, but his voice cracked. She laughed, a bitter, heartbroken laugh. You're not even good at hiding it. The sheets smelled different. The housekeeper avoids my eyes. And you've gone completely cold. My hands trembled. I backed away quietly, hoping they wouldn't notice it'd been there. The next morning, I found an envelope on the kitchen counter with my name on it. Inside was my final paycheck, a reference letter, and a small note in Elisa's handwriting. Annabelle, I trusted you. I welcomed you into my home, into my life. I don't need an explanation. Just go. No yelling, no dramatic scenes, just quiet heartbreak. I packed my things in silence. Mr. Daniel didn't come downstairs. Maybe he couldn't face me. Maybe he didn't care anymore. But Alice stood by the front door, holding it open for me, her eyes puffy but steady. I paused for a second. I'm sorry, I whispered, but it sounded weak, like trying to stop a flood with a paper towel. She didn't respond. She simply turned and walked back inside. And just like that, I was gone. I now clean smaller homes, mostly for single women or elderly couples. I no longer linger. I no longer listen too closely or speak too freely. I've learned that lines exist for a reason, and crossing them of an in silent second shatter someone's world. They say betrayal is about action, but sometimes the real betrayal begins in the heart, quiet, soft, and invisible to everyone except the one you betray, and the one you become. If you find this story helpful and interesting, kindly subscribe to this channel and hit on notifications. Ensure to like this video and drop a comment. Thank you for watching.